Starmer has consistently faced criticism since assuming power, yet every warning appears to have fallen on deaf ears. Recently, he was caught deliberately concealing crucial information with direct consequences for citizens' lives. His authoritarian secrecy is now being exposed to the public eye. Join us as we analyse this shocking development, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest updates.
It's time to know the truth about immigration. Reform MPs have written to Keir Starmer demanding the release of nationality and immigration status data on crime, welfare, tax, NHS usage and housing. They say the deliberate policy of mass uncontrolled immigration is demolishing trust. They say information is being deliberately withheld. Well, they're right. Because I'm sick of politicians lying to us. I am sick of being told that we must not stoke racial tensions. I'm sick of being told that diversity is our greatest strength and we are so culturally enriched, when actually we are literally poorer per person. So come on, let's get the facts out there, shall we? Here are some facts for you.
Just now, reformist MPs submitted a letter demanding that Keir Starmer release specific data related to citizenship and immigration, including statistics on crime, social welfare, taxes, NHS usage and housing. According to these MPs, unchecked mass immigration policies are eroding public trust. The MPs insist that these crucial details are intentionally being hidden, and it seems their assessment is right. It is disheartening to be told constantly that we must avoid stirring up racial tensions. It's absurd, especially when we're also told that diversity is our greatest strength, and that we're culturally enriched, while in reality, many citizens are experiencing growing hardships. It's time to bring the truth into the open, isn't it? Here are some facts the public needs to know. It is evident that currently, 72.4% of Somali individuals live in social housing, a stark contrast to the 16.9% rate among British households in similar conditions. Additionally, data from the Office for National Statistics, ONS, reveals that only 51.4% of Muslims aged 16 to 64 are employed, compared to 70.9% across the general population. These numbers paint a concerning picture of economic and social conditions. The burden of welfare costs is clearly rising, with 12% of the prison population currently being foreign nationals. This raises many questions about crime, with harrowing incidents, like an Eritrean man causing a serious accident at an asylum centre in Germany, frequently coming to light. Is this truly the reality anyone wants to live in? If immigration indeed brings evident benefits, the government must be responsible for disclosing specific impacts on crime, social housing, healthcare and welfare. Growing frustration over what many see as intentional information cover-ups indicates a deeply troubling lack of transparency. According to Alex Armstrong, Director of Communications at the Institute of Economic Affairs and former MP Lloyd Russell Moyle, data concealment has been happening for a long time. For years, signs have indicated a significant rise in crime rates. Just in the past year, the total number of offences has surged by 10%. However, categorising crimes by ethnicity is often refused by the police, leaving crime statistics, especially those for knife crimes, unclear and difficult to analyse. A lack of specific data on communities contributing to crime has made crime management harder than ever. The concealment of information worsens when major news outlets like the BBC often refuse to reveal the backgrounds of certain suspects. The British public deserves to know exactly who is wandering their streets. According to statistics, 72.4% of Somali individuals currently reside in social housing, while only 51.4% of Muslims of working age are employed, compared to 70.9% across the population. Perhaps these figures are the cause of rising concerns about potential backlash against the current immigration policy. However, it's essential to remember that crime is not exclusive to any ethnicity or group. Many complex factors are involved in the crime issue, which needs to be examined holistically. While immigration may bring economic and social benefits, allowing illegal immigrants into the country without adequate screening is a serious issue that warrants attention. The government must ensure that immigrants are able to work legally rather than being driven into the black market economy. A major question arises as to why the local people are not filling these jobs. Clearly, this is an issue that the government needs to address. Some suggest that favourable conditions should be created for immigrants, but we must also not overlook the rights of the local population. Interestingly, 12% of the prison population is foreign nationals, while 16% of the population in the country are also foreigners. These figures suggest that foreigners may be less likely to commit crimes, but that doesn't mean they are all innocent. The crime situation is a complex issue and needs to be examined from multiple perspectives. Why is the public not well informed about statistical data? The government needs to provide transparent information about crimes and relevant conditions. Crime data, including knife crime, should be publicly and clearly disclosed. It is essential to emphasise the need to address the root causes of crime to create effective solutions. We cannot live in a virtual world, detached from reality. Everyone has the right to know who is using public services like the NHS and social housing, and this should be done based on clear criteria. If different criteria are applied to access public services, these criteria should be implemented fairly and transparently for everyone. Only with clarity in policy can society progress and integrate further, rather than continue living in the ambiguity and lack of transparency as it is now. Certainly the core issue here is the need to reform the healthcare system so that we can afford to support others, rather than simply focusing on controlling people within the NHS. In reality, this is something emphasised with no intention to impose strict control on NHS-related travel. Clearly, this is not the case. Take a specific example. If someone comes here on a long-term visa, they need to pay an additional fee for the NHS to access healthcare services. This is entirely reasonable. Because they have contributed to the system, their right to draw from it is completely justified. Currently, there are many people from different places, such as from France, who are not required to pay any additional surcharge. Returning to the premise of this debate, why doesn't the government publicly release this data? Why such silence? If everything is as wonderful as they claim, there is no reason to hide anything. Let the British public know. In the end, what numbers does he need? This information is truly out there. Perhaps MPs have written such lengthy letters that they cannot find the appropriate website to access, but in reality, that's not the case. Many times I have gone to the Ministry of Justice and the Home Office, asking them to provide detailed information on crime by nationality and ethnicity. The Ministry of Justice indicated that the Home Office holds that information, while the Home Office said that it's with the Ministry of Justice. Then, they asked me to file an FOI request, but eventually said that, unfortunately, it would cost too much to fulfill this request. In reality, most of this is fairly straightforward. Greater concern for public safety in this country is far more crucial than showing favouritism towards a particular group, as this helps us recognise whether we are inadvertently allowing more wrongdoing into England. Why does this matter? It's entirely reasonable. Let me explain why. Criminals should be deported regardless of where they come from or who they are. If you are a criminal living in this country, originating from abroad, you should indeed be deported. An important question arises as to why it has become necessary to examine ethnicity and nationality, because we need to understand if there are issues tied to certain communities. Clearly, many have examined this issue and feel it is unwelcomed. In some cases, that may be true. We know that serious issues related to communities have occurred in places like Rotherham. There is an undeniable link between ethnicity and community. For example, in Rotherham, issues arose with individuals from different cultural backgrounds participating in gangs. There was a group of Catholics involved in grooming gangs, and it's crucial to identify who these Catholics are to be able to track them down. What do people think about the issues we have discussed in today's video? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest political developments in the UK. Thank you all, and see you in the next videos.